All right, guys, welcome to the first of ideally what should be many Claude trainings on Claude Code specifically. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can quickly launch new advertorials using a simple page fly template and just one simple Claude skill. For a little bit more context here, one of the ways I was able to quickly scale one of these brands here was just by launching a ton of advertorials. As you can see here with the naming convention, we launch a new advertorial for a different avatar. Right, so we're selling the same product here. As you can see, we scaled this store up pretty quickly, spent a ton of money on ads, but each campaign got its own advertorial because I was speaking to a new person, right, a new avatar. And this is one of the most powerful ways to scale, and it helps with ad volatility. And it ideally works once you've kind of validated initially when you started selling this product and got it out of testing. This is the way you kind of can scale it quickly, build stability so you're not dealing with constant ad volatility, and also expand to different markets so you can scale as quickly as possible. So you can see here, we have one advertorial, 3.0, 4.0 is just different avatars that I was speaking to. So we had one here, another one here. We had this one here, which was the original one. We had another one, another one, another one. Eventually we start diversifying into other countries as well. But the only thing is that I was doing this manually. So I'd have to go through the research and manually go into Pagefly, build the advertorial line by line. It was very time consuming. I didn't have Claude Code back in the day. So I'm going to show you how you can quickly build a skill to do this for you. And it's going to actually output the entire file. So you literally just import it to Shopify. You maybe just swap out one image and that's it. There's nothing else to do. We're also going to be talking about tracking and analytics as well. So a couple quick things. I highly recommend you install Claude Code, the actual app, onto your device, whether it's MacBook or PC, it doesn't really matter. Install it, and then you will see here that you have, the regular Claude chat. You have co-work here, and then obviously we're going to be doing this on code. So I want to just quickly show you how this skill works. So if I go here and do /advertorial, hit enter, it's going to ask me a sequence of questions. I'm going to simply input it, and then it's going to build the template for you. So I'll build a page fly advertorial. I need a few inputs first. So the brand name. For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to use this copy from this advertiser selling this product, which is just a supplement product, I guess, helps with sleep and mood and whatnot. So pretty cool. So as you can see here, brand name, we're going to just put this person's brand name for the sake of this tutorial. So we're going to just do our tonics. Obviously, it needs the product page. So I'm going to grab the competitor's product page here. Obviously, you'd be using your own website. Product info /source. So this is optional. If you have a URL to obviously Amazon listing for specific information, you can do that. Let me quickly see if this product is on Amazon. What is it exactly? It is anxiety, 10 milligrams of lithium orate. So let's quickly see if it's on Amazon, if the exact same thing is on Amazon. So I see stuff similar. I don't know if it's the same thing, but just for the sake of this, we're going to just grab this random link here, throw it in. If you don't have a link for this, then that's fine. So there's going to be a high likelihood that you might be dropshipping your product that quite isn't on Amazon yet. That's totally fine. Native ad copy. So this is obviously important. So the thing with advertorials is there needs to be maximum congruency, right? The actual long form copy that the person read before getting to your advertorial has to align with the advertorial itself. You can't be speaking to stay-at-home moms about weight loss. They click on the ad to get to your advertorial, and now you're speaking to stay-at-home dads or menopausal women that work at the office. So it's important that your copy aligns with the advertorial. So to ensure this for you guys to make it super easy, all you got to do is copy your copy and throw it into Claude Code. Okay. Ideally, this should be copy that is either profitable for you and performing well, or it should be copy that shows some signs of buying intent. Maybe it's not profitable for you, but you're seeing a lot of add to carts, maybe initiate checkouts, and it still might not be profitable. One of the reasons why people add to cart or go to initiate checkout but don't purchase all the way, sometimes it could just be that they haven't had enough trust yet. So ideally, most cases, 4 times out of 5, 8 times out of 10, I'd ideally recommend that you build these advertorials once you've found an angle that is, or an avatar that is profitable for you or shows some really strong signs. And so we'll paste that copy in just like that. And this is optional. You can obviously specify the target avatar and the awareness level. By reading the copy itself, Claude will know and answer that for you. So you do not need to do that, but you can of course change that. And this is just what the skill asked of me. I can also give additional context. Like I can say, I want this advertorial to do blah, 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 or say this or have that. Now I've already built this skill to take the same template that you guys already have in the school community, the same one that I've scaled. Actually, these avatars that you saw on this account were the same advertorial structures that I was using at the time. So they're pretty much money. So I'm going to allow Claude to fetch and actually scan this website here, which is a competitor's website. In your situation, it should be your website. And then it's going to just take a few minutes to actually start building. And then we'll have a finalized template that we could just throw in to Shopify. And then all we have to do is 2 steps, which I'll show you here, which is swap out the headline image to a better image. And then, of course, one extra step as well that I recently started to do was tag the actual buttons on the advertorial so we can track what percentage of people are actually clicking to get to our product page. So it's really cool there, and that's going to make it super easy to diagnose if this advertorial is working for us or not. So this can take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. I've done this a few times now, and it's normally not too long, but it does take a few minutes. So right now I'll pause and come back when this. All right, we could jump back in the action a little bit. We're not quite done yet, but Cloud's going to give a little bit of a note here. So native narrator friend Marcus telling his buddy complete arc story per the framework, switch to a different consumer. I'll narrate the avatar as a new high performer reader who recognized himself in the buddy's story, did his own research, pulled the trigger on the product, bridge, power, quotes, marks the strongest line, optimized stimulation, but never stabilized anything, and credits him by name, stacks proof, avoids rerunning the same case study, keeps discovery feeling fresh. Cool. So there's going to be congruency there while keeping the story. Alrighty. So a few moments later, we should be all done here. I think it's going to be swapping out everything, which I think it did. Cool. So now we have the template. We have a checklist of stuff, which has everything here on what to do, how that all looks. And then it also gives you a hero image prompt that you can go into Google or Nano Banana or Higgsfield to generate. And then we have the actual template here, which looks absolutely crazy. But we're just going to download this and then upload this into Page5. So if you're new to the world of coding, the way it works is that Claude Code operates in folders directly on your computer. So you give it a folder and it will output files and information into that folder. This is also how it stores context and everything. So here is the files, right? So this is the Page5 template that Claude Code automatically put into my folder after it finished creating the entire template. So next steps here is to literally let me just pull it up here. I'm going to go here into Shopify. I'm going to grab folder here, and we're going to go under Pagefly. So Pagefly gives you one free template. So just go under Pages. Understand images will not be imported. Hit Import, and then when we pull this bad boy up here, as you can see, Avatorial is built. Okay, so very, very, very clean. Obviously, it would behoove you to actually read this and make sure it makes sense. Remember, this is going to be for your brand and your copy, so just read through it, make sure it's good. You might need to tweak a couple things here and there, but for most part, it should be really good. The biggest thing I would pay close attention to is this headline. All right, so how one friend's confession about his brain optimized buddy exposed why my $400 nootropic stack was quietly destroying the system it was supposed to optimize. So I would work on this, right? This would be something that I might go back into Claude and say, this headline sounds a little bit confusing and it doesn't sound as enticing. Go back in and give me 5 variations of headlines that use an open loop to engage the reader and get them wanting to read more. So that would be something I would look at. The next thing I would do here is go to the settings here. Settings. And make sure show header and footer is unchecked. You don't want your Shopify header and footer showing. And then also, you can see under custom code, I have a piece of custom code that hides your Shopify inbox. So I highly recommend that if you are trying to make sure you get good feedback and good customer support, you install the free Shopify inbox tool. The problem with that when running advertorials is that it could pop up on your advertorial. So this code is automatically added in there for you guys, so it doesn't pop up on the advertorial page. Now from there, you should have the text document of the hero image prompt. Okay, so let's just pull this up real quick. Should be in your same file. And of course, guys, I'm going to show you how to do all this. I'm just giving you the tutorial first, and then I'll show you how to install the skill. So this is what it'll be. So you'll just copy from here, and then you'll go into Nano Banana or Higgsfield. Honestly, the new ChatGPT Image 2 generator is also really good. For the image formatting, I would recommend you to like a 21:9, and then just paste that in there. 21:9 might be a little too rectangular. Maybe a 4:3, and paste that in there. And then, 4:3 looks a little, 4:3 should be good. 3:2, let's see. You can basically use any formatting. I think 3:2 might be the best. But we just want it to look square, but not too square. And then we can throw this in Nano Banana 2 as well to see how that would look. Let's see, 3:2, throw that in there. And then while we're at it, let's do Higgsfield 2.0 and do 4:3. And then you're just going to want to change this image out. 3:2, I meant. You don't want to just change this headline image out. You can use one of your offer cards. Also, I would delete this as well. You don't need that top image. You could use one of your strong offer cards here, one of your product cards that you use, whichever one that's really strong would use that. But the way this looks it looks pretty good. And then all you would do as well is I automatically coded this so you guys can, it automatically changes the buttons to go to your product page. So it should automatically go, but just double check. And if it's not, just go in here and edit and make sure you set that up. There's 2 buttons, one here and then one here as well. Make sure it's the same link. And then just view it on mobile. Make sure everything looks clean and congruent on mobile. Again, I've kind of coded it for you, so it should automatically look good. Maybe one of the things you want to take a look at as well, by the way, if we take a look at this headline on desktop, you can see that there's coding, there's this setting here that separates the edits from what you make on desktop and then what you make on mobile for the headline specifically. It's not like that with anything else. You'll see it under general, but the reason why I make note of that is because if we look at it on desktop view, this could look fine. On mobile view, this looks really chunky. So we can edit the size on mobile view so it doesn't look as chunky. And I would recommend that you don't have more than 3 lines. All right, so this is really chunky. You can go under styling and then you can change the font size. I wouldn't go lower than 19 though. So I would recommend just working on retitling this so it's only 3 lines. This is like super chunky. I don't like how chunky this looks. You don't want to have, this says 4 lines. So you ideally want 3 lines, right? Like this is a good amount to have for a strong headline. And even this could be kind of shrink down a little bit. So this is where you're going to need to go in and tweak a couple things because you want the headline and then this quote to not be too long where the image doesn't actually show up, right? We want to use that image to kind of pique people's interest along with the headline. If all this will copy is super, super long and people have to scroll to get to the image, they might click off. So a little piece of advice there. So we have a couple images here that we can go with. I think this one, we'll just go with this one here. Obviously, the more engaging your image is, the better, the more likely it is to do well. So what I would literally do is just hit delete here. Then I would come in on the left-hand side, search for image. We're gonna go with this horizontal looking one, and then hit that. And then we're gonna hit select image. And then when we just downloaded, did we just download? Yes, the one we just downloaded is, where is it? Did I download it? Okay. We're just gonna upload that on over here. Give it a couple seconds to upload. And then we will have our image switched out. Boom, boom. And that's really it, guys. Now you have an avatar list. There's actually, sorry, that's not true. There's one other important step here that I recently started doing. So you can actually click on these buttons here and you could go to Pagefly events, you could go to Facebook pixel events and you can tag this button with a metric, right? So I would consider this add to wish list, right? We don't want to consider this as add to cart because then that will get grouped into the add to carts on our product page. Obviously, same thing with initiate checkout. None of this stuff makes sense besides this add to wish list. So I would tag both of these buttons with add to wish list. So that way in Facebook, we can create a custom column and add the custom metric of add to wish list. So now we can better track the ratio of people that visit our landing page and are clicking the button to get to our product page. And now we can actually start looking at that metric and then identifying, okay, what percentage of people are visiting our avatar and actually clicking the button to get to our page. Another thing as well is you could set up Google Analytics. I have Google Analytics set up on this as well. If you want to, you can actually use that to track your metrics. It's super simple in Pagefly. So we're gonna hit save here. And then if you wanted to publish this, I would rename the page title. Don't make it so clunky and whatnot. So I would just name it the same thing as the blog post. So this is Cognitive Health Insider. And then change this to just, again, it could just be the name. So we could shorten this a little bit and just say we can do health-insider. And then hit publish. Publish. Okay. And then now when we exit out of here and hit this link, should pull up our website here. Don't know why it's not. Let's see. Give me 1 sec to figure out why this isn't publishing. Okay, it's not publishing because I've used up all my slots apparently, which I don't understand how that's possible considering I only have 1 page active. So for you, it should publish just fine. I did just previously delete another page before building this one out. So it's saying I have 1 out of 1. So I don't see what the issue is here. But as you can see here, when I go to hit publish, it's publishing page publish. Okay, so should be live here. Not sure why it's not showing up live. Maybe the name Health Insider is not good. So let's see here. What we can do is change this. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so to build this skill, it's actually really simple. You're going to copy and paste this exact template in. I actually have the skill already built and everything. And then on this document, which I'll be linking here, actually breaks it down in more detail. This is like the advanced kind of like fail-proof way. I would not do this unless you really want to. This is like, breaking down the skill in its most complex form. It tells you what to do, what to copy, what to install, and all that stuff. This is the very manual approach. It also explains what is happening behind the scenes if you really want to learn the coding. If you just want to turn your brain off and just quickly install the code and the skill itself, you would just do this, and then Claude will automatically prompt you with the next things it needs, the next steps it needs. You're going to need to obviously add the Pagefly template, which I have linked here. It's the same one we already have in school, but I'll just add it here so it's easier for you guys to grab. So I'd grab this, download it, and then throw that in here, attach that file to this exact prompt in a new chat under Claude Code, hit enter, and then it's going to start building it. It's going to ask you a couple things, just hit allow. And then when it's all said and done, you'll have the skill built, and then you can run it and do a couple test runs, and it should be good to go. And that's really it. It should take you a few minutes to do it. I mean, like 10, 15 minutes, and then you will forever have that skill. And now you can start churning out avatorials whenever you want. It goes without saying, you can only test one template at a time for free on Pagefly. So eventually you'll need to pay for the full subscription. So you can have multiple templates running at once. This is just to get you started for free, but then you eventually should pay to continue to run this. Another thing you might be wondering is, Alex, could I do this with something like gem pages or another thing? Absolutely. So you can just simply ask it. You just need a template though to provide to Claude Code. I don't have a gem page template or another template from another tool. I only have a Pagefly one because that's what I used. So you just do the same thing, just swap out the template for the one on gem pages. And then obviously in this prompting, you would just simply say, instead of Pagefly, gem page or whatever tool you're using. All right, so to copy this, the build this skill is here. You just copy this in, download this, and then attach it in the chat all at once, and then you're good to go. All right, so let's wrap up here with a couple things to pay attention to. One is how I would actually deploy and test this and some ideal KPIs, okay? So ideally, now we're able to quickly and easily see in our ads dashboard when we have someone that clicks the wish list button, which is just the button to get to your product page from the avatorial. So for example, you would want to go into your custom columns and just add ads to wish list, and then also you can do costs per ad to wish list. So now this is going to be the metric here. When someone's on an avatorial, they can we can see, okay, those people are visiting the avatorial, which percentage of those people are actually clicking the button. And then from this ratio, we're going to now take a look at this ratio, which is ads to cart. What percent of people that landed on my product page from the avatorial actually decide to add to cart, right? So that's obviously, you can see in this campaign here, metrics don't look too good because largely because CPMs are so high, but even this ratio here wasn't ideal, right? So honestly, it actually wasn't bad because they add to cart, initiate checkout, and then also purchased. But this is going to be one of those initial ratios to kind of diagnose your avatorial. And then from there, your initiate checkout rate and then purchase conversion rate. These are kind of ideal metrics. So I absolutely hate giving metrics and percentages like I'm doing right now, simply because it's one of those things where, and I even wrote it here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice now. Remember, the most important metric overall is your ROAS. If you're profitable and not within these metrics, it's okay. These metrics are just rough benchmarks to strive for, but each niche and industry may be different. So don't become obsessed over these numbers. Here's the thing that unfortunately I know is going to happen, and I'm going to try to stop it from happening to the best of my ability by saying this right now. Do not get too caught up in these numbers and metrics. They're things, it's good to look at and good to have and understand. But overall, it is, when we talk about avatorials and long form copy, right? There's just so many variables at play here, right? There's a few things here and there we can adjust and tweak, but there's so many variables at play. So somebody's going to say, Alex, my add to avatorial, the product page add to cart ratio is 6.5%. What are some things I can do to improve? Honestly, you can test different headlines, different images. You can test new avatorials in general, but to ask me to, should I tweak this or should I tweak this little detail or that little detail? In most cases, we're not spending enough money until you're at $5,000, $10,000 a day in ad spend. You're not spending enough money for small tweaks and changes to actually be able to be noticeable. So you're better off just like launching completely new avatorials and new avatorials and new avatorials and new variations of avatorials, rather than trying to like tweak this one little detail here and this one little detail and try to bump it up 2%. We're not having enough impressions and volume for that to even be noticeable. So all I ask is that I'm putting this here because I know some people ask and want to know like what's a general benchmark I should operate around. Here it is. but do not get too caught up with all the minute details. Alex, my add to cart to product page add to cart percentage is 6.9%. I think that's why I'm not making enough money. Chances are, dude, like you have a bigger issue outside of a small detail. And I would take a closer look at that more so than these hard metrics. So please don't DM me saying, I'm struggling with this percentage. What do you think I should do to improve it? I tried adding this, that, and the third. Just launch a new advertorial and see how that works for you. And that's kind of the basis that I'm gonna get into here. So for each advertorial, you speaking to a new avatar, get it in its own CBO. But if it's the same avatar but different awareness level, you can launch them in the same CBO but different ad sets, right? So for the sake of what I'm saying here, if I'm selling a sleep supplement, maybe one avatar could be truck drivers, though they're going to get their own CBO. Another avatar could be stay-at-home moms, right? But if that stay-at-home mom avatar is speaking to problem-aware, and then now I want to launch a solution-aware avatar, it'll just stay in the same CBO, right? So awareness levels and variations stay within the same CBO. New avatars get their own CBO. Simple enough. Okay. I would take a light budget of around $50 a day, run for 3-day test with my advertorial. Whichever one has the best overall metrics, I'll run with that and scale it up by adding new ad variations in the same CBO. I almost forgot to mention here, I should have stressed this earlier on in the training. The goal here for this specific strategy, because this is a unique strategy than what you see in the other advertorial trainings, this is for people that ideally have a little bit more budget and want to kind of spray and pray. I hate to say it that way, but this is kind of the basis of what's going on. If you kind of want to just launch a ton of advertorials and just do some testing quickly to kind of quickly see what's working and what may not work, this is this strategy and approach. If you're on a limited budget, this probably wouldn't be most effective for you to do. I would maybe challenge you to just go through the rest of the course and watch the other trainings on how to but how to slowly take your time and test. But if you're someone with a little bit more budget and you want a faster, more aggressive approach to testing, this is what this strategy is about. It's about creating advertorials, launching them at $50 a day, let them run for 3 days and spend $150. See the base benchline metrics, figure out which one is performing the best out of the maybe 5 or 10 you may have tested in the last 2 weeks, and then go from there. Right. So this is an aggressive approach for people with a little bit more budget and really, really feel like they're in a big market that has a ton of different competition, but also a ton of different avatars to speak to as well. So the goal is to find one advertorial out of your rapid approach of testing 3 days, new advertorial. Think about how quickly you can create advertorials now. Speaking to new avatars, you should be able to launch quickly new avatars. And ideally, what I've taught up to this point is that you wait to launch an advertorial until you find a winning avatar. This approach, once again, to stress this, doesn't require that necessarily. You can, on day one, launch this and take this approach if you want to. Think about what an advertorial does. An advertorial builds more trust. It takes people from unaware or problem aware to solution or product aware. So this is going to be a more advanced approach and most likely will work better for people in more competitive niches with bigger markets and bigger avatars to speak to. So this is kind of that approach there. So you would kind of just, it'd be like testing a ton of different video creatives until you find a strategy that works. This is the same to that. Testing a ton of different advertorials, obviously with the long form copy to go with it, to your product page, and then figuring out which of the best advertorials, avatars, and awareness levels work the best for you, and then doubling down on that and focusing on that, right? You're kind of just throwing paint, darts at the wall and seeing what sticks, and then going from there. So once you do find one that performs the best, and by the way, the one that performs the best doesn't automatically you're going to be profitable, right? For some reason, I don't know where this idea came across for beginners. They think that in a 3-day test, they're supposed to be profitable. That's a sign that I should continue to go. That is not what you're supposed to be looking for in 3 days. 3 days is not enough time to be super profitable. And get that out of your head. Can it happen? Sure. It's happened to people before, but it's most likely not going to happen. You're going to need time for the pixel to get seasoned. You're going to need time for for Facebook to continuously find new markets and pockets of people to sell to. The 3-day test is to simply see if there's potential. Right? It's not to guarantee profitability. It's not to see, you're not going to see the best you're not going to see the most ideal ad metrics. You're not going to see the most ideal buying intent. You just want to see that there is some, and that's the sign you need to move forward. Okay. I want to stress this again. Okay. The 3-day test, and this goes for any 3-day test. The 3-day test is not designed to be profitable. It's simply a way for us to identify if there is potential and if it makes sense to continue testing on this path. Okay. Most cases, right? And let me tell you something right now. A Facebook pixel, right? The data that is required to help Facebook understand who to go after consistently, on average, can take 7 to 14 days before it fully locks in. depending on your budget, your spend, your avatar, your market, this can vary. But it's just a reminder that 3 days of testing, you're doing this for the long term. This is a long term play. You're not going to make quick, easy money within 3 days. So if that's what you're looking for, throw it out the window. And so the 3 day test is to say, oh, there's some potential here. It makes sense. Metrics look promising. It's not perfect. I'm probably going to be below, a little bit below break even or break even. But because the add to carts are looking solid, ad metrics are looking solid, now it's my job to now go. I got the validation I needed. Now I got to make this a winning campaign. How do I do that? Testing new concepts, testing new variations. Some of it requires you to just be a little bit patient. Give Facebook a little bit of time as well. It's a combination of the two. All right. So now focus on scaling up that campaign. Put all your focus, right? So you're initially going to just launch, maybe you can launch multiple. It's because these are in separate campaigns, you can launch multiple advertorials a day. There's no rule to this. You don't only launch one a day, wait 2 days, then launch another. Launch as much as you want. If you want to launch 3 in a day, $50 each, $150. If you want to launch 6 in a day, go ahead. You want to launch 6 every day, go ahead. You want to launch 6 every other day, go ahead. Do whatever you want. The point though is that this is an aggressive strategy. It's not going to be a strategy that I recommend everybody do. I would reserve the strategy for people that have maybe scaled up a store a couple times before, or have seen success, or have been working on a store long enough. That's going to be what the strategy is for. If you're a complete beginner, you have not validated your product, you've not even really scaled to a couple $100 a day, you have no prior experience to dropshipping, I would not recommend doing this, because now you're playing with fire, right? There's going to be more money being spent, more money leaving your account, more things to analyze and track. You have to be a better media buyer and understand how to read your data. So if you're not at that level yet, I would not do this. If you are, you feel like you're confident enough, or you want to challenge yourself to do it, go ahead. All right. Once you find that winning advertorial, then you can start doing horizontal and vertical scale. Continue to pour into that and stoke the existing fire. So why do advertorials or campaigns in general start off really well for a week of profitability and then burn out? It's because people aren't adding enough new creative concepts. And I don't mean just slight variations of what you already have been doing. New concepts, completely big swings. You have to be aggressive with that, because eventually your audience will start to dry up and you'll get into colder markets. It's not so much that those people don't exist, by the way. People think that, all right, I'm selling a sleep supplement to mothers. Maybe the first week your advertorial or your campaign in general is averaging a 2.5 to 4x ROAS. And then next week, it's no longer doing that. People, for some reason, think that there's no more people left on the planet. There's no more stay-at-home moms that want to sleep. It's not that. It's that the work required to convert a cold audience grows. You got to think, people that are completely cold, it's not that they can't benefit from your product. It's more so that they're not warm enough to make a buying decision. So what ends up happening is, as you spend more money, you reach more and more people, you eventually get into colder and colder markets. It's inevitable. There's no way around it. Every market goes through that same experience. So it's why profitability shrinks as you scale more over time, right? You can be at a 4x ROAS at $200 to $400 in spend a day on a campaign. And then as you get to 500, 600, your ROAS drops. That's not inherently a bad thing. It just means you have to do a better job of grabbing the attention of people and converting them. That might mean stronger advertorials, stronger headlines and hooks and images to stop more people from scrolling. Okay, so you got to think more intuitively and not think so linear. Oh, my campaign is dipping in performance. Obviously, this avatar is dried up and nobody else wants to buy from me. That's most likely not the case. You just need to do a better job of speaking to the same group of people, but then now they're just a little bit colder. They still need the product. They still could benefit from it. But if I come across your product for the first time and I've never even thought about this product before, it's going to take a little bit more to get me to buy versus someone that's been considering the product for some time. Okay, so that's the biggest thing, right? So the biggest thing to always do is test different awareness levels within the same avatar and test new avatars. And then at this point, once you have your winner, put most of your spend and time into scaling that up horizontally. Vertically, and then put a little bit of your additional budget that you have into testing again. Go back to the drawing board, start testing new avatars, tension points, new concepts, new desires, new whatever. And that's really it, man. I mean, like I keep mentioning, that's literally all I did with this ad account here. Scale that bad boy up with horizontal and vertical scale. And it's not too challenging once you understand, like, okay, you have a solid product and you have a ton of avatars you can speak to. That's kind of the name of the game. Okay. So hopefully that helps you guys out.